So can you believe it? 2023 is almost over. And for the entire year, I've done my best to keep my finger on the pulse of all the latest AI news and tools, and then turn around and make videos and share what's been going on with you. I thought, since we're at the end of the year, it would be fun to make a recap of all of the most major moments in the world of AI throughout the entire year. Now, there was literally hundreds, if not thousands, of announcements in the AI world for the entire year, so I can't break them all down. And I know there's going to be comments about, hey, you forgot to mention this, or you forgot that tool, or this announcement, and there's going to be some stuff that I missed. But if you look at my tabs across the top of my Chrome here, I've narrowed it down to roughly 45 big announcements from throughout 2023. I also don't want this video to be an hour long, so I'm going to rapid fire break down the year for you. Keep in mind that pretty much every single event that I'm going to talk about at some point in this channel's history, I made a video where I deep dived into that specific topic. This video is sponsored by Invideo AI, a really cool AI video tool, but I'll talk about them more in a few minutes here. So let's go ahead and talk about what happened in 2023, starting with January. In January, Microsoft invested $10 billion into OpenAI, kicking off what seems to be one of the most brilliant moves from Microsoft, because since then they've been able to put all of OpenAI's tech into their products. January also saw the launch of the 11 Labs beta, giving us the first pretty good text-to-speech we've heard. Up until 11 Labs, all of the text-to-speech sounded really robotic and wasn't fooling anybody. After 11 Labs, people started having a hard time telling whether or not a voice was generated with AI. So much so that a whole bunch of scams and fake audio has started to come out because of technology like what 11 Labs released. In the AI art world, in January, we saw Instruct Pix2Pix. This was released as open source and was really the first time we were able to do image editing with AI. Up until this, we were able to generate images with things like DALL-E and Stable Diffusion and Midjourney, but once this was released, we were able to take the images we generated and change them. Swap sunflowers with roses, add fireworks to the sky, make his jacket out of leather. What would it look like if it were snowing? This was a huge advancement in the AI art world. Moving into February, this is when Google started to get serious about trying to keep up with OpenAI and Microsoft, announcing the release of Google Bard. When Bard was released, it was exciting to see Google getting into the chatbot game along with OpenAI, but it still left a lot to be desired. Pretty much everybody that was out there experimenting with Bard was pretty unimpressed with what it could do, because what we had to compare it to was ChatGPT, which at that point had become the gold standard in AI chatbots. Literally the day after Google announced Bard, Microsoft said, we're now doing Bing Chat. And not only was Bing Chat starting to roll out almost immediately because of Microsoft's partnership with OpenAI, it was using the GPT technology underneath. And we would come to find out later that it was actually already using GPT-4 before we even got access to GPT-4 inside of ChatGPT. In the AI art world, February was the month where we got ControlNets. ControlNet was a huge leap forward in AI art because it now allowed us to put our AI generated images into custom poses and positions. We were able to upload an input image and generate new images that followed the exact same pose of the original image that we uploaded. It also gave us the ability to scribble images and get more realistic output images, as well as turn existing images into depth maps and then use those depth maps for our output image. Again, this up-leveled the customizability of our AI art images. Moving into March. March was probably the biggest year for AI in all of 2023. This is when it was just announcement after announcement. During this time, I was doing my best to try to keep up, and I was putting out news videos almost every single day because the announcements just kept on rolling. And it started with one of the biggest advancements in the world of large language models, the release of GPT-4. GPT-4 was a huge leap over what we were getting with the previous GPT 3.5. And the demo that Greg Brockman gave when they made the announcement blew everybody's mind, especially when he showed this off.
So I have here a nice hand-drawn mock-up of a joke website. Literally take a photo of this mock-up. And so we can actually take now this output, and here we go. Actual working JavaScript, filled in the jokes. For comparison, this was the original of our mockup.
And at the time, we hadn't seen anything like that yet. Now, I did speed up that video to cut out some of the delay between him showing us the photo and us actually getting the output, but just what it can do was so much more advanced than what we were able to do with GPT 3.5 before that. March was also the month that we got Midjourney version 5, which was a huge leap in realism from our AI photos. We went from our AI generated images looking something like this to now all of a sudden looking like this or like this. The realism just took a huge leap with version 5. You may even remember a lot of people on the internet getting fooled by this image that was created with Midjourney version 5. It was also March when we got Model Scope, which up until that point was the absolute best text to video we've seen. Now anybody could go and enter a prompt like an astronaut riding a horse and get a 2-second clip that kind of looked like an astronaut riding a horse, or kind of looks like Spider-Man surfing. But it was obviously trained on Shutterstock content, and every single video had this Shutterstock watermark on it. But it also led us to some pretty amazing memes, like this now pretty iconic meme of Will Smith just perpetually eating various spaghetti. March was also the month that Adobe entered the game with Adobe Firefly, where we could now generate AI art images from Adobe's platform. Now, did it really have a big leap in improvement over what we were getting over Stable Diffusion or Midjourney? Not yet. But when Adobe starts rolling out Firefly into their suite of tools like Photoshop, Illustrator, and Premiere, and things like that, that's when Firefly really starts to get exciting. March was also the month where OpenAI announced that ChatGPT would be getting plugins extending the capabilities of what ChatGPT can do. And at launch, we got plugins like Expedia, Fiscal Note, Instacart, Kayak, OpenTable, Shop, Klarna, Wolfe, Zapier, and more. And the demo made these ChatGPT plugins look pretty exciting, like this demo where somebody was looking to eat vegan food in San Francisco and wanted a suggestion for a good restaurant, and then they used OpenTable to book a table. They even got recipes, and it did all sorts of stuff with just a single prompt. Plugins were really, really cool when they first came out, but later sort of got overtaken by GPTs, which I'll talk about later in the video. March was also when we got Runway's Gen 1. If you don't remember Gen 1 was a tool that allowed us to upload an existing video and then completely change the style on that video to a style of a reference image or the style of a prompt that we gave it. It was a pretty big leap for the world of AI video generation. You're able to pretty much take any other video and convert it to any style that you can imagine. And all of that happened in just March of 2023. Switching gears for just a second here, the sponsor of today's video also released something amazing in 2023. I'm talking about Invideo AI, and they released a platform that allows you to do text to entire video. You enter a single text prompt and it will generate a full video complete with script, voiceover, B-roll, music, subtitles, all of it done for you. And they recently just released the Invideo AI mobile app. It does everything the full version of the app does, but in your pocket. So imagine this. You have a brilliant idea for a brand new video, but you're at the coffee shop with a friend or out at the beach or something and not close to a computer. Well, with Invideo's AI mobile app, you can transform that idea into a polished video in no time. Just type your idea and the app does the rest. So let's put it to the test here. I'll go ahead and type create a YouTube short about how far we've come when it comes to space travel. Make it silly and use an authoritative American male voiceover. I'll click generate video and then the magic happens.
Whoosh, that's the sound of human ingenuity soaring through the cosmos. Back in the day, we thought the moon was made of cheese. Spoiler alert, it's not.
The app generates a video complete with jokes and the perfect voiceover. And if that first draft doesn't take you to the moon, don't worry about it. You can hit regenerate for a new take, or you can press edit and add subtitles, switch the sound of the voiceover, or even change the background music. With Invideo AI, you get to be the director and let it be the editor. Maybe you don't like the footage it chose for you. They have a vast library of over 8 million stock video clips that you can use. You need to tweak the script, you can do that right from your phone as well. So if you're ready to shoot for the stars with your videos, you can get started with Invideo AI for free. But if you're really serious about video creation and you want to remove that watermark, I highly recommend upgrading to a paid plan, which starts as low as $20 a month. And if you get stuck anywhere along the line, they have 24/7 support. So check out Invideo AI today. I'll make sure it is linked up below in the description. Thank you so much to Invideo AI for sponsoring this video. Moving on to April. April feels like the month that Meta really started to get into the game, starting with Segment Anything, where you could upload images and have it segment out every aspect of that image so that you can edit and move things around and delete things. And it was a really powerful tool that could be implemented in both images and videos. April was also the month we got Wonder Dynamics and Wonder Studio. This was a tool, when I first saw a demo of it, I actually didn't believe it. I thought it was too good to be true. It was a tool where you can upload a video of a real human and then swap out that human with a computer-generated character. And it seemed to work really, really well. AI video took another huge leap with Wonder Dynamics, and it was backed by people like Steven Spielberg and Joe Russo of the Russo brothers. And one of the co-founders, Ty Sheridan, the main character from Ready Player One. April was also the month we started to see these new autonomous AI chatbots, things like Baby AGI and Auto GPT. These were tools where you can give it an end goal, and then it would keep on generating its own prompts over and over and over again until it finally got to the point where it achieved the end goal that you saw. These were huge back in April and May of 2023, but seemingly kind of faded away, and we haven't really heard about them more since. But I do think in 2024, we're going to see this kind of technology pop up once again, because it really showed some promise, but the early versions didn't really have a lot of use cases that were very practical or useful yet. Shifting into May, at the very beginning of the month, the announcement came out that Geoffrey Hinton, the godfather of AI, left his position at Google because he wanted to warn people of the dangers of AI. Now, if you're not familiar with Geoffrey Hinton, he actually won the Turing Award with Jan LeCun and Yoshua Bengio for his contributions in the world of AI. Almost everybody that's working on AI today traces their lineage back in some way to Geoffrey Hinton, who was really one of the founding fathers of what we currently know as AI. So him leaving Google because he thought AI was getting too scary was a big deal. But speaking of Google, May was also the month that Google announced they're putting AI into everything. Google Sheets, Gmail, Google Search Engine, Google Phones, you name it, Google was going to put AI inside of it. In fact, so much so that when they did their Google I/O event, the headline on CNET was, Google said AI over 140 times in its 2-hour Google keynote. May was also the month where we got the Senate hearing with Sam Altman and Gary Marcus and others, where they basically pushed for the Senate to actually regulate AI. In May, we saw OpenAI release Shape-E, which was a text to 3D model generator. We were able to generate 3D images from a prompt like a penguin or a voxelized dog or a traffic cone. The 3D images left quite a bit to be desired, but this technology eventually led to the types of things we get today from tools like Genie by Luma AI, where we're now getting 3D objects like this, and like these, and like these ones here. It has come a long way since we first started playing around with Shape-E back in May. It was also May when Adobe made one of their largest contributions to the AI art world in its new generative fill tool inside of Photoshop. This was mind-blowing. We were able to trace areas inside of Photoshop and have generative fill change those areas just by typing a text prompt. This absolutely changed the game for everybody that used Photoshop, because now we can just do so much more and really dial in any image we want. When it comes to my own AI art workflows, Adobe Generative Fill was just mind-blowing. It was so insane, and it gave so much more power to Adobe Photoshop. Moving on to June, things slowed down a little bit in the AI world. However, we did get the Apple Vision Pro announcement in June. Not really AI, but it does have some generative AI features that will be built into it. But one of the biggest things to come out of June was Runway's Gen 2. You remember Gen 1, you can upload a video and it would change the style on that video to the new style that you gave it. Now, Gen 2 had the ability to enter a text prompt or an image prompt and generate a video from it. Now, these videos were kind of similar to what we were getting out of Model Scope, but the quality seemed to have improved quite a bit, and we no longer had a Shutterstock watermark going across the videos. Here's an example of what people were getting out of Gen 2. Here's another video of somebody talking, a couple of horrifying looking cartoon videos, but again, it was a giant leap over what we were getting out of Model Scope. Moving on to July, we are now halfway through 2023, and July, things started to pick up a little bit of momentum again. ChatGPT rolled out Code Interpreter, which gave us all sorts of new abilities inside of ChatGPT. We were now able to upload PDF files and have it read those PDFs for us. We were able to upload spreadsheets and graphs and have it interpret those files for us and help us analyze them. It would even create graphs for us on things like where UFO sightings happened. They've since rebranded Code Interpreter to Data Analysis, but to this day, it's still in there and still one of ChatGPT's most powerful features. July also saw the rollout of Anthropic's Claude 2. This gave us a 100,000 token context window, meaning that between the amount of words we input into the bot and the amount of words we outputted from the bot, we were able to get about 75,000 words, which was the largest available model. We were able to now copy and paste large documents directly into Claude and have it summarize and give us bullet points and explain it like I'm 5. This was back in July, and since then, Claude has upped their context window to now 200,000 tokens. But when this came out in July, it caused a lot of people to jump ship from ChatGPT and start using Claude instead. To this day, I still use Claude just about as much as I use ChatGPT because I just find it better at summarizing documents, especially long documents that ChatGPT still can't handle. July was also the month we saw Llama 2. And not only did Microsoft and Meta team up to launch Llama 2, they launched it as free for research and commercial use. This was really the month that we started to see a ramp up of the open source large language models because a lot of people started to iterate off of what Llama 2 had built. Later in the month, ChatGPT got another upgrade with custom instructions. We're now able to sort of pre-train our ChatGPT with additional information that we wanted it to have access to before we even type our first prompt. So I, for instance, gave it information about how I have a YouTube channel. I'm always looking for ideas for titles and thumbnails and video ideas and the sort of demographics of my YouTube channel. So now when I talk to ChatGPT, it has all of that information for additional context before I even type my first prompt. And July was also the month the AI art world got Stable Diffusion XL 1.0. Prior to that, we had a Stable Diffusion XL 0.9, which wasn't really that great yet, but SDXL was a giant leap for our AI art generation. Now, it still wasn't quite as good as what we were getting out of Midjourney version 5, but Midjourney is very closed. They don't share their data with anybody, it's censored, and there's a lot that they won't let you prompt with it. Stable Diffusion is open source. You can install it on your own computer, and you can even train your own models to use your own face or your own styles. And Stable Diffusion XL had huge quality improvements, but also had those additional abilities to them because you can use this right inside of something like Automatic 1111 or the new Comfy UI. AI art was truly getting to a place where no matter which tool you were using for AI art, they were kind of all catching up with each other. And then we moved to August, and August was another really slow month for the world of AI. I mean, a lot of marginal improvements happened, but there wasn't anything really major. The one thing that came out of August that I think is worth talking about was that Midjourney introduced Very Region, which was their version of inpainting. We were now able to take an image like this chipmunk wearing a crown, select just the crown, and then have Midjourney generate new styles for the crown while leaving the chipmunk exactly the same. So very similar to the Instruct Pix-to-Pix inpainting that we were getting earlier on, but now we also had it available to us directly inside of Midjourney. Moving on to September, ChatGPT got another big upgrade. This was the month where they announced that ChatGPT can now see, hear, and speak. We got the ability to speak directly to ChatGPT and have it listen, as well as get audio responses back from ChatGPT, and it was really good. We also got ChatGPT with vision, meaning that we could upload pictures and ask questions about the pictures inside of ChatGPT, like help me lower my bike seat. And then it looks at the image and it explains how to lower the bike seat. And then you could circle a piece of the image and re-upload it and ask again, is this the lever? ChatGPT would respond and give helpful information. In the demo, they also showed an image of a toolbox and asked what tool it should use. ChatGPT went on to explain exactly how to fix it from there. This opened up a whole new world of possibilities in ChatGPT. And this was just back in September. Moving on to October, we got DALL-E 3 from OpenAI, which to this day is the most prompt adherent AI image generator model. You can do really complex prompts like an image of a three-headed monster wearing fedoras and watching a TV with bears on. And it would actually figure out how to generate something with all of the elements in your prompt. With Midjourney or Stable Diffusion, you're likely to only get one or two of the things that you ask for. Still to this day. Not to mention that they rolled it out directly inside of ChatGPT. So when you generate an image, instead of having to give a whole new prompt, I can say, give them pink hats. And it knows that I'm referring to the image that it just created and then update the image for me. So not only was it super prompt adherent, it gave us a whole new way to generate images in a more conversational way. October also saw the release of text to vector inside of Adobe Illustrator. Now, to be fair, Adobe had a huge event where they announced all sorts of AI features, but in my opinion, the biggest announcement that was also made available right away was their text to vector. We were now able to prompt images directly inside of Adobe Illustrator, and instead of it being a flat image, it would generate it as an infinitely scalable vector that we can edit, change colors of certain elements, and do whatever we want to it. It was great for things like logo creation or creating multi-layered images that we can then later animate. And then we move on to November. And November started off with Elon Musk announcing Grok, which was his own large language model, which was trained on all of the available data on X or Twitter or whatever, and it would even update in real time, making it a great large language model to have discussions about current events in the moment. He also made it sort of goofy and silly and tell really bad dad jokes and roast people, but it's definitely an interesting model that I think will improve over time, or maybe just be seen as a giant joke to people. Who knows? We'll see how it all plays out. November was also when OpenAI had their dev day where they announced GPTs. GPTs are sort of like these custom bots that you can train directly inside of ChatGPT that can be tailored towards specific niches or specific end goals, like creative writing coaches, tech advisors, Sticker Whiz, and Laundry Buddy. You can upload your own documents and give it your own custom instructions, and then you can even allow other people to use your custom GPT, and in the future, even sell your own custom GPT in the upcoming GPT store from OpenAI, if it ever ends up happening. Alongside GPTs, OpenAI also rolled out assistants, which is pretty much the exact same thing as GPTs, just in the API form. You can develop your own assistant, give it functions, give it code interpreter ability, give it retrieval ability, upload your own files for it to reference, and then use what you created in your own separate software, or have conversations with it directly inside of OpenAI's playground. We also got another big announcement in the world of AI-generated video with Gen 2's Motion Brush. This allowed us to mask out certain areas of an image and only animate and edit the areas that we masked out. This made video editing much more powerful and much more customizable. November was also the month where we saw the rise of these latent consistency models and real-time image editing, like Leonardo's real-time canvas, where I can draw on this image on the left and watch as the image on the right updates in real time over there. Everything I add to this image, you'll see it update in real time as I scribble. This is happening as I'm drawing. We also saw similar tech released by Krea.ai, where as I draw on the left here, you'll see my image start to update on the right in real time with what I'm drawing into it. November also saw the event that rocked the AI world when Sam Altman was fired, then offered a job by Microsoft, and then subsequently, a couple days later, rehired on by OpenAI, and then OpenAI's entire board was booted and completely reconfigured. I made a ton of videos about that whole scenario and was almost breaking it down in real time, but that just happened in November. And when it comes to AI video, Runway couldn't get all of the love in November. Pika 1.0 was released in November, which brought us some amazing AI text to video that is better than anything we've seen to date. We were able to enter text prompts, get really, really good videos. We got image to video that was really high quality. We were able to change the motion in the videos, do video to video, and it even had video outpainting where you can take a video of one size and change it to a whole other size and it would fill in the rest. It also got this really awesome video in painting where we can select an area of a video and change the color or add glasses. This is another huge leap in AI video, and that came in November. And that brings us to December, the month that I'm actually recording this video. And it's been kind of a slower month so far, which is to be expected as we get closer and closer to the holidays and people want to wind down and spend time with their family. But we did get the announcement of Gemini. We even got access to Gemini inside of Google's Bard. However, the way Google did it was a bit deceptive with them using this video footage and getting a response in real time when they actually didn't use video footage to get these prompts. They actually used completely different prompts than what they said, and it wasn't anywhere near to real time. It can do what it says it's going to do, just not the way they demonstrated it in the video. And finally, the last sort of big thing that I think happened in December of 2023 was the release of Mixtral of Experts, which was a new way of doing large language models, which I explained in last week's AI news video, which is a new open source large language model where you can give an input, it passes your input through a router, and then sends your question to various large language models or experts to get the answer. And each one of these experts might be trained on different information. It's a much more efficient way for these chatbots so that instead of asking a huge large language model, it's asking a smaller, more dialed in language model that's tailored to the prompt that you asked it. And this is a big leap in how I feel AI chatbots will probably be handled in the future. So I felt like this was probably worth mentioning. Now, again, I know there was a lot that happened in the world of AI in 2023. I probably could have listed 30 things for every single month of the year, but felt like I should probably keep it more high level to the things that I felt made the biggest impact. I missed a lot of open source stuff. I know that, but these are the things that, in my opinion, drove the AI world forward the most and the fastest. And there you have it. That's my recap of 2023 in AI. I am so excited about 2024. I'll be making a video here pretty soon about my predictions of where it's all going in 2024. So if you want to see that video, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and you like this video, because that'll make sure videos like this show up in your YouTube feed. And if you want to keep your finger on the pulse of AI, similar to how I do, check out futuretools.io. This is where I curate all the cool tools that I come across. I made it really easy to sort and find the exact tools that you're looking for. I keep the AI news page up to date on a daily basis. Every day you can keep your finger on the pulse of the latest news. And I have a free AI newsletter where I'll send you just a handful of the coolest AI tools that I come across and the most important pieces of AI news that I come across directly to your email inbox. You can find that all over at futuretools.io. And thanks for hanging out with me as I kind of go down memory lane of 2023 and what felt like 5 years condensed down into one. This was the fastest, most rapid advancements we've ever seen in AI, possibly in any technology ever. So what an exciting year. 2024, I only imagine, is going to accelerate further, and hopefully you're here for it. So thank you for tuning in, and I hope I see you in the next video. And thanks again to Invideo for sponsoring this video. That was a lot of videos. Anyway, thanks again. I really appreciate you. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.